Welcome to a TLDR Mythic guide for Prototype Pantheon, because even Mythic Raiders have lives and go outside, I think. And if you can't remember what happens on Heroic, go watch a guide. The Mythic change is adds and seeds will now have a shield that reduces the damage and healing they take. The only way to get rid of them is hitting them with a Night Hunter, which targets 4 players and then rushes them at the end of the timer. The Night Hunter ad needs to go through the shields to remove them, and if you miss any, it's basically a wipe. You can reduce the damage you take by soaking the line, but it's easy to solo with a defensive. And the whole thing sounds much easier than it is, because you actually need the 4 targets to stop DPS and go do their job. In phase 2 and 3, it can get a little tricky if animal lines spawn through the seeds, so be careful. Or blame bad RNG for the 60 phase 2 wipes you had. We used an auto-assigned weak aura for Night Hunter targets, which I will link below. And War and Renewal will always need to be interrupted, so a kick weak aura won't hurt either. Especially War, because if a Gloom Bolt hits you, you'll probably fucking die. Assign some players to kill the ads in phase 1 and 3, but they aren't super strong, so 2 or 3 should be enough. Balanced Druids will always be far ad bitches though. Seed healing is now a much bigger deal, as you want the buff for as long as possible without dropping it. In phase 2, heal the first seed ASAP, then pop the second one when the buff has about 10 seconds left. Seed 3 should be popped just before the first Hand of Destruction, and Seed 4 should be done after you're all done playing Dance Dance Revolution. The second set of seeds in phase 2 can be ignored, as you will almost be phasing the boss anyway. Phase 3 seeds are the same, but if you're taking a while to kill them, you can pop 1 or 2 of the second set to keep the buff going. And that's it, so let's go over the fight and see the clusterfuck you'll be facing. Phase 1 will be War and Duty, so focus Duty and keep War kicked. After 30 seconds you get Night Hunters and ads, so go do your jobs. Kill the ads you're assigned to and help out others if they need it. You then get a pushback with the Dispels, so pop a defensive if you're out of healer range and call for a Dispel when you're inside a bubble. And healers, don't dispel early or you incur the wrath of your raid leader. Then focus Duty down to 40%. You'll get another set of ads and Night Hunters, but you can ignore these and tunnel the bosses to phase them before the platform is covered. You'll probably get Dispels again right as you phase, and now everyone needs to focus the Sire unless you're kicking Renewal. Keep the bosses back to back in this phase with Sire facing away. This will mean the tornadoes spawn to the left of the melee and make them easier to dodge. Night Hunters go and hit all the seeds and move the bosses away from the animals if you're running out of space. During Hand of Destruction, spread out and focus on not getting hit, because if you do, you'll probably die from the extra stack damage. Healing coordination on the seeds is key to surviving the ticking damage and keeping people alive. Then tunnel Sire to 40% before the second hand happens, and if you have him close to phasing with a lot of time before the second hand, focus some damage into Renewal. Phase 3 is where you need to prove your Mythic Raider guild rank. Tanks, when the bosses appear, the ones you had aggro on when they phased will be the ones you get in phase 3. A tip from our tank is to pre-taunt the bosses you want in phase 1 and 2, so when you get to phase 3, they'll already be on you. One tank needs Sire and War, and the other needs Duty and Renewal to keep Sire and Renewal in the same positions as phase 2, for the frontal and tornadoes. Kickers, stick to your interrupt targets, and everyone else focus whichever has the most health. After you group the bosses up, you get Night Hunters with seeds and ads, so once the shields have been removed, lust it up and delete the ads. Then you get a pushback with animal lines straight after, so anyone at the back, be prepared to keep yourself alive. You will have at least 1 Hand of Destruction, so focus on staying alive over DPS, because you really don't want to die here. When they get under 10%, focus down Sire to prevent the second hand, then kill Duty to stop the pushback. Then race to get War and Renewal below 1% to stop the regeneration cast, and you can end this clusterfuck of a fight. Congrats on making it halfway through the raid. Now it's just the tier bosses to go before Nipple Man Dan, but there's still something lurking in the shallow water. Good luck on your progress, I'll catch you in the next one.